a low rumble of thunder that intensifies all around us, sounding more and more like the rhythmic thump of drums. A candle is lit inside a large iron lantern. The flame brightens and grows, revealing images cut out of the lantern which cast large shadows on the wall before us. The lantern is spun, and the shadows become moving images, depicting the formation of a beautiful paradise and its inhabitants. Buried deep within a dense woodland in the Horn of Africa lay a paradise, an age-long home for the most exotic creations that lived. The most noticeable of them all, the elephant. They were the first to arrive here in search of the mysterious Mount Elgon, said to have been formed by an extinct volcano millions of years ago. These brave jungle hearts, led by the legendary Zumba, dared to cross treacherous terrains, risking their lives across hills and plains, through jungles and seas, as the carcasses of their fallen comrades lined their trail. Days and nights they journeyed through kingdoms, those at peace and those at war, battling the wickedness of men and the talons of wild beasts, until they finally made it to this paradise. And for generations upon generations, they have mined and fed upon the soft rock lining Mount Elgon, the mystery soil that contains 100 times more nutrients than any plant needs, thus the flourishing landscape. This is where our story begins, right here in Mount Elgon. This is where destiny is about to be fulfilled for one of the great descendants of the great Zumba, the one they call protector of the jungle, Gugu. We are high above the maze of the jungle tundra in a bird's eye view of the land as the gentle drums return. And they suddenly increase in tempo and volume when we swoop down fast. We explode through the trees and bush and turn hard, rushing through the dark jungle towards the enormous bellow of an elephant in the distance. We blast through the jungle into a vast clearing. In the clearing are scores of elephants, young and old, in a concentric circle, staring in the direction of the echoing bellows. The bellow draws gasps from the onlookers, then silence. A faint, almost inaudible sound of a thud. A gentle thump of Arge's soles as the other elephants part to reveal him. Hashim stands head and shoulders above the herd of elephants that gaze upon him as the one with the honor of presenting his information. And they should, because he is. Silence amongst the herd that ripples into the dark evermore of the jungle. Anticipation fills the air. Behold my son, 126th descendant of Zumba the Great, founder of this great village of Harambe. I call him Gugu. There's general celebration while some trumpet, others rumble and scream in joy and excitement. Immediately the drums begin, and slowly the sweet melody made by the variety of unique sounds begins to blend in. While the trumpeting provide the treble and soprano rhythms, the bellowing introduce the deep bass-like effect. The crowd of elephants are now departing from the scene and forming artistic round patterns. Though from the outside it looks somewhat non-choral, but deeper look indicates that there's a clear decorum and sophisticated organization even within the seeming disorganized structure. The progressions concentrate on the medium and inner ranges of the strings. We pan to a long shot of all of the elephants in the procession. Meanwhile, 2 female elephants remain to help Gugu, who is already showing signs of stubbornness to his mother's teats. Finally, he begins suckling. The celebration is going on, music and dancing fill the air, while some dance, others amuse themselves playing games in groups, and in twos they toss and twist objects they pick up in the environment. Some other animals are beginning to join in on the celebration. A group of red-billed oxpeckers are getting busy on a well-choreographed dance sequence, while another group of cattle egrets are doing some wonder gymnastics in the air to all the rhythm of the music. The center of the circle is now cleared for performances. A group of young female elephants come in to do a sensual waist dance, and the crowd roars. Then a bunch of young male elephants enter to do a dance that looks more like a blend of hip-hop and traditional styles. The high point is when one of the elephants comes in to do a dance that looks like a crude version of Michael Jackson's style as the crowd goes wild. Gugu matures through the changing seasons with the love and help of the elders. Present during his upbringing is a maturing Jomo, a skinny, more uncoordinated yet seemingly cool elephant who finds himself near Gugu for most of his experiences. Gugu's father Argai and mother Zarifa are there to guide him in his journey from infancy to adolescence. The sun looms overhead, coating the jungle of Harambe in a sheet of amber and gold. Elephants as far as the eye can see, grazing lazily in the midday heat. We drop in on Zarifa and Gugu as they move among their community, grazing. Well, at least she is. I don't understand why I couldn't just have a little taste.
Because it is not a safe plant, Gugu.
It looks safe. He spots a brightly colored plant near the distance. He moves for it. Gugu reaches down for it as Zarifa gently nudges him away with her trunk. What about that?
No, Gugu, it'll make you sick.
Why?
Because it is poisonous to eat.
Why?
Because its petals are very toxic to us.
What is toxic?
Bad for you, Gugu.
Gugu presses forward. Gugu slowly turns. The tall grass waves quickly but gently at first. Something zigzags with haste across the field in the distance, the tall blades of grass swaying. Gugu slowly moves in. What's out there?
That is the lion's den.
What's the lion's den?
A place we stay clear of.
Why? Zarifa catches the glances of her community. They await her response. Mom, why not?
We just stay clear of it.
The herd slowly slinks away. Zarifa follows suit, but Gugu is fixated on the tall blades of grass. Something draws him closer. A crisp tear of plants and shrubbery. Mom, what is that? Zarifa slows. She turns back to see the plants and shrubbery as they violently sway back and forth. A gallop from within.
Gugu, come!
Why?
Gugu, now!
The herd turns to catch the tall grass dancing wildly. Gugu ignores and moves closer, and then an antelope springs from the bush just over Gugu's head. Good!
Gugu, down!
A ferocious lion blasts from the bush and knocks Gugu aside violently. Gugu slams to the ground hard as the lion disappears into the herd, giving chase to the antelope that tries desperately to escape its wrath.
Gugu!
Zarifa rushes to Gugu and helps him to his feet. He watches as the elephants move aside to allow the lion ample space and opportunity to catch his prey. Why wasn't anyone doing anything? The lion swats at the antelope and catches its hind leg, knocking it to the ground in a ferocious thud. The antelope struggles with futility to free himself. Oh, we have to do something!
Quiet the boy, Zarifa, before the lion hears.
Yes, Tanabai. You must be quiet.
But Mom!
Quiet.
Gugu turns his wide-eyed gaze back to the antelope as it is dragged into the tall grass by the lion's den. We just let him be taken!
It is the way of nature, Gugu. Antelope live and breathe just as these blades of grass. We eat them to live, he eats them.
But not us?
Not us, Gugu, but you, because you are small. But we have a pact. He leaves you be, and we leave him be.
Then what does hunt us?
Never go into the lion's den, and you'll never have to find out.
Zarifa takes Gugu's tiny trunk into hers and leads him away. A final glance from Gugu into the lion's den. He scurries quickly to his mom's side. Zarifa and Gugu bring up the rear of the female herd as it returns to the village. The commotion of the community is a wonderful, terrible mess of noises as Gugu makes his way through at knee level. Where the outer lands were calm and serene, this village's walked-down pathways are busy and boisterous. Gugu tries his best to take in this busy district, but is a sensory overload.
Stay by my side.
Yes, Mom. Zarifa and Gugu round a corner to find themselves in a small grazing area just outside of the gathering place. Here they find scores of other adolescent elephants, including that of Jomo! Jomo spins around. You don't need that long to notice he's a fast-talking, slick kid who could talk the wool off a sheep. He approaches quickly.
Gugu, my brother from another mother. Heard you took one on the chin from a lion today.
Yeah.
Cool.
You think so?
The girls will love you.
Jomo and Gugu look up to see Zarifa shaking her head in disapproval.
Hi, Miss Zarifa.
Jomo, who are these girls you speak of?
Girls? Who said anything about girls? I said earls. The earls. All the elders named Earl, Miss Zarifa.
Uh-huh.
Jomo grabs Gugu by the trunk and both dart off into the center of the rest area, laughing wildly as young ones do. They come to a quick stop.
So, you wanna go?
Where?
To see the girls. More specifically, my girl.
You don't have a girl, Jomo.
Yes, I do. And she's the finest, most beautiful girl you've ever seen.
Jomo fans himself with his ears, trying to cool himself. Really?
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 Really.
Gugu considers for a moment.
Come see with me. She's just past the great tree.
Just past?
Not even a stone's throw.
Only if it's really close.
Don't worry, you big baby. We'll be back before your parents even know we're gone.
Jomo and Gugu trek through the savannah. Gugu steals glances back at the great tree, which is almost non-existent in the background. I thought you said it was less than a stone's throw from the great tree.
It is.
Look how far away the great tree is.
Not a baby's stone throw, Gugu. A man's stone throw. Real men can throw a stone 1,000,000 miles away. We're not even going that far.
That doesn't even make sense.
Yeah, huh?
Nuh-uh.
Yeah, huh? Because they have man strength. It's what you get from doing grown man stuff.
Grown man stuff.
Yeah, grown man stuff. Like being a grown man, you know? Walking like this.
Jomo walks upright, his head held high.
And finding a potential mate.
What?
A potential mate, you know, a girl.
Well, then what do you do? Jomo is at a loss for words, unable to think of anything that resembles truth.
You know, unless you're a baby.
I am not a baby.
So then you know?
Of course, I knew long before you.
Nuh-uh.
Yeah, huh? And where are we walking?
I told you to see my girl.
But where?
Over by the cave.
Gugu stops. Jomo glances at him as he comes to a stop.
What is it now?
We can't go near the cave. It's dangerous over there, isn't it?
No, man. The white elephants live there.
A smile grows on Gugu's face. White elephants?
Yeah, they look just like us, but they're white. And my girl is the most beautiful of all the white elephants. Forget that. Of all the elephants in the whole wide world.
Wow.
Yeah, you're gonna be glad you came with me. You'll see. And you'll see her beautiful friends. You won't know what to do with all the beautiful ladies.
I don't want to get into any trouble.
No trouble, my brother. Just ladies. Just beautiful ladies.
Okay.
Come on.
What do you mean?
I mean, how do I look?
Jomo strikes a pose and holds it for as long as he can. You look like an elephant.
Be more specific.
Your ears are big and your trunk is long.
Yeah, come on.
Jomo wraps his trunk around Gugu's and pulls him further into the savannah.
She might have a friend. Then I can introduce you. Maybe you'll find your potential mate too.
What do I do when I find her?
Nothing.
Nothing at all?
No, just smile.
Smile?
You give her a grown man smile. If she smiles back, she's all yours. If she doesn't, forget her. You're too good for her.
Where did you learn that?
You have to stop hanging around with your mom so much, Gugu. Come on.
The two elephants close in on a small bush just before the white elephants. Jomo leads Gugu closer, tiptoeing up to the brush. They are as stealthy as possible and believe they have hidden. However, their heavy bodies are completely exposed from behind the bush. A young female elephant, Jabiji, circles gracefully at her mother's side. Jomo's jaw drops at the sight of her.
See? Told you she was beautiful. The finest girl you've ever seen.
Is that her?
Yeah. She grows more and more beautiful every time I see her.
Jomo's smile is ear to ear, his ears flapping to cool himself. Gugu, however, doesn't seem to be under the same spell as Jomo. Instead, he appears quite uneasy and unsure of what to do. Jomo?
Yeah?
When do I start smiling?
You smile when a girl looks your way, but not at this one. This one's taken. She's my girl, so no smiling at her.
I get it. Calm down.
So no smiling at her.
Jomo, I get it.
I don't want to see any white teeth. Not one tooth. Not even if it's brown.
Point taken. Jomo gathers himself and glances to a high patch of grass just a few yards away.
Now do me a favor. Go graze over there for a second till I call you back over.
Why?
Because girls like their privacy and she's not going to come over here if she sees both of us together. Think like a grown man.
But you promised I'd be able to meet our friends.
I'm gonna work on it, my brother. When she comes over and I sweet talk a little, she'll bring out her friends, her cousins, and anybody else I ask her to. Watch the master at work.
Jomo makes a motion as if rolling up his sleeves. Gugu scurries out of sight. Jomo takes a deep breath, ready to make his move. Jomo? Jomo pauses and tries to compose himself. He turns back to Gugu.
What?
How will I know which one to pick?
I don't know. Just find one that is not too short, not too fat, or too smart. We good? Good?
Gugu turns away and begins to move for the open grassy area. Jomo moves for Jabiji again, and just as he moves forward, Jomo!
What?
One more question.
What is it, Gugu?
Do I smile before I take a pic or after I take a pic?
Are you serious?
Mm-hmm.
Before, after, or during the pic. It doesn't matter. You know, you can actually start smiling now. Yeah, do that. Just start smiling now.
You think so?
Please, Gugu, do it. Now. So you can quit asking me.
Nah, I think I should just wait until I've made the pic. Without a single word, Jomo turns away and starts walking toward the white elephants.
This is what happens when you bring little kids to do grown man stuff.
Jomo moves through the brush and only finds the mother elephant. Jabiji is gone. Gugu grazes in the wide open field alone when...
Hi.
Gugu spins, startled. Jabiji stands before him, and just as Jomo had said, she is the most beautiful white elephant of all. She curiously stares at him. Gugu quickly looks away and down, avoiding eye contact. Hello. Gugu shyly glances up and spots her soft, kind eyes staring back at him. She smiles a little.
What is your name?
Gugu? An awkward silence. In the silence, Jomo's eyes catch Gugu and Jabiji. He slowly moves in, listening intently.
Aren't you going to ask my name?
No.
You don't want to know my name?
Mm-mm.
Why not?
Because you're not for me. You're beautiful. You smell nice. But you're taken.
Taken? By who?
Jomo?
What is a Jomo?
Jomo, my friend. Him. Gugu's trunk points across the grass at Jomo, who stops in his tracks and tries to strike a quick pose. But he's off balance and stumbles into the bushes. Gugu and Jabiji laugh. An uncomfortable moment for Gugu as he realizes he's smiling, and Jabiji realizes also. The two are locked in a gaze, and Jomo sees it. So you don't know Jomo?
I've never seen him until this very moment.
Jabiji steps in a little closer.
Did you smile at me?
Gugu glances over at Jomo, who watches on helplessly. Jabiji nods her head slowly.
It's okay to say yes.
Gugu begins to slowly nod his head. Jabiji eyes the fresh wound on Gugu's forehead.
How did you get that?
Earlier, while I was out with my mom, it was nothing. Jabiji takes notice of her mother in the distance.
Okay, well, I have to go. My mother will start looking for me soon.
Gugu lowers his head. He's missed the opportunity.
Next time you and your Jomo come around, maybe I'll bring some of my friends.
Gugu's face lights up. That would be great!
Until next time.
Until next time! Jabiji turns away and moves across the field, joining her mother. Gugu turns to see Jomo walking away toward the great tree. Jomo, wait up! Gugu races across the grassland at a fast stride. He catches up. You're right. She's beautiful, and she has friends.
I don't care.
You don't care? Why not?
Because I don't. She's ugly.
She's not.
Compared to the girl I was talking about, she is.
But that is the girl you were talking about.
Nuh-uh.
Yeah-huh.
Nuh-uh. I thought it was her, but it wasn't. You know elephants don't have good eyesight.
Well, from what I saw, she was beautiful. The way her eyes hang, her trunk moves.
Enough. Just wait. I'm going to show you the girl I was talking about, and she's gonna make you forget all about what's her name.
Jabiji.
What?
That's her name, Jabiji.
Well, my girl will make you forget all about Jabiji. You'll see.
Just so you know, she does have friends. She said she would bring him over next time we come back. Jomo stops for a moment.
When do you want to come back?
As soon as we can. Jomo glances over at Gugu's ear-to-ear smile.
Potential mate?
Potential mate, my brother. Gugu's legs can't seem to contain themselves as he begins to dance. Jomo stands perplexed as he watches what Gugu does with his legs and soles. Gugu finally takes a minute to breathe.
What was that?
I don't know.
Who taught you that?
Nobody, it just came to me.
Wow, that is out of this world. Do it again.
Gugu does it again to his own amazement. You want to try?
I don't know.
Come on, try it! Jomo tries and clumsily twists up all of his appendages. Gugu and Jomo return. The two slip back into the rest area, hoping not to be noticed.
Heard there's a dance tonight.
Yeah, too bad we can't go.
Who said that we can't go?
Our parents would never let us go out alone at night.
Let? My brother, in order to be a grown man, you have to act like one.
I'm not going.
You have to go. We have to show off your war wounds.
War wounds? Jomo shakes his head enthusiastically. Like I said, I'll stay here. Jomo dances around, striking the grass playfully with his trunk, as if performing some odd, uncoordinated form of martial art.
Okay, but I'll be the one telling the girls how I smacked down the Lion King with my Dambe style.
Dambe? You don't know Dambe, Jomo.
The girls don't know that.
Gugu could care less as he moves away.
GBG doesn't know that.
Gugu stops in his tracks. He turns back to Jomo, indecision in his stare.
It's a good story, Gugu. If you don't tell it, I have to. And the girls will love it.
They love it?
Love it.
Where are these girls?
Dance, tonight, in the Outer Lands.
I don't know about that.
You're not scared, are you?
No.
Yes, you are. You're scared. Need me to get the reefer to coil your trunk for you? Keep you safey wafy?
Quit it, Jomo. You weren't there.
Don't spaz out. We won't go anywhere near the lion's den.
How do you know Jabiji will be there?
Every girl who is any girl will be girling it up there.
Girling it up?
Hey, give toss. Mount. Don't look. Just jump in. The water's warm, my brother. It's warm.
Okay, I'll be there.
See, you are cool, Gugu. No matter what they say.
Yeah. Wait, what? Gugu is at the riverbed alone. He dips his trunk into the river and sprays himself with water. The sprays are heavy and straight, blasting Gugu clean. He shakes himself dry as he moves to return to the rest area. Gugu. Gugu spins to find his father looking down on him. Yes, father. Come with me. Arge walks up the hill, followed by Gugu. There's an intense silence between the two. They reach the furthest point of the hill, come to a halt. Arge directs Gugu to take a rest. Gugu obliges. Arge paces around Gugu. Is everything okay, father? But Arge does not respond, he only paces, disappointment in his stare. Where were you today? With mother. Afterwards, Gugu. Silence between the two again. Gugu looks down and away. The truth. Jomo and I, He said he had a girl and... Wait, I didn't even want to go. Gugu. Gugu looks up into his father's eyes. We left mother's side and we went over to the cave to see the girls. Arge's eyebrow raises. Really? Yes, sir. A smile begins to grow, but Arge pushes it back. He has to remain firm. You know what could have happened to you out there? Venturing that close to the lion's den. You're right, father. Look over there, Gugu. Arge's trunk points out over the hillside. Tell me what you see. Gugu comes to a stand and slumps over the hillside. He stares out at the beautiful savanna landscape, the tall blades of grass. Tall grass? Look closer. As Gugu moves closer and stares hard, he can spot tiny lumps in the blades of grass. What are those? Lions, Gugu, watching and waiting. Waiting for what, father? You, and little elephants like you that wander off without the knowledge or supervision of the elders. Fear in Gugu's eyes as he recounts the number of times he could have been eaten just today. There are countless other predators out there, Gugu, who'd love nothing more than to sink their sharp teeth into your soft skin. Arge stops in front of Gugu's field of vision. He wants Gugu to hear and understand the seriousness of his words. There are rules in the jungle, son, and down there they have a name for it. Jungle justice. Eat or you shall be eaten. Hunt or you shall be hunted. Kill so that you do not get killed. Maim just so you can stay alive. Which of it do you find difficult to understand? Gugu has been reduced to sniffling. His fear is palpable. I'm sorry, father. I did not mean to make you worry. To go out there with Jomo, I should have known better. Yes, you should have. You put yourself in a dangerous situation. Arge looks down on Gugu with pity. He pulls Gugu closer and pets him with his trunk. I know you're growing up, but you're not a grown-up. You're curious. You're eager to explore. I just want you to feel free to talk to me. We need to know where you are at all times. Feel free to ask me about anything you want to know about, anytime. Gugu thinks for a moment. Arge notices. So who is she? Gugu stops and stands before his dad. She? Yes, Gugu, she. Ha. The one who has you so flustered and so clean. It was hot today. And planning a late night getaway with Jomo? Gugu glances across the hillside and sees Jomo shrugging.
Sorry.
I was going to tell you. A long, stern look from his father. I was, eventually. It's just a dance, father, not too far from here. Not too far from here. Where? The outer lands. Where? The outer lands, but nowhere near the lion's den. I promise, nowhere near there. Don't you think it's a little soon to be thinking about girls, Gugu? There is still so much to learn about R&B and the world beyond it. Too young? How old were you when you went mom? Arge's mind begins to wander back to those days. A smile forms and a laugh begins to grow. But as suddenly as the nostalgia begins to grow, Arge catches Gugu's smile and stops. Not the point. That was different. It's always different when it comes to me. I know things, father. Oh, yeah? What do you know? That we don't eat certain legumes? We don't interfere with lions and their food? We never ever go into the jungle of Papasa. Okay, Gugu. Okay. Okay as in stop, or okay as in I can go? Okay, as in you can go. Gugu jumps for joy. His bounces begin to build a rhythm and a dance is born. Gugu grooves, slapping his two back legs together. Jomo watches on. And you'll be back before high moon. Thanks, Dad. Before high moon, Gugu. Sorry, before high moon. Arge lingers for a moment, still unsure, but then gently moves away. Jomo trots over and high trunks Gugu.
What was that dance you were doing?
Gugu does the dance again.
That is out of this world. Do it again.
Gugu obliges happily as the two move away and into the red oblivion of the setting sun. The sun has set, and darkness engulfs the wide open land, ever expanding dark until we spot a huge bonfire in the center of it all. Elephant girls as far as the eye can see, talking, mingling, laughing. Shy elephant boys gawk, too afraid to approach. As one works up the most nerves amongst his friends to approach, he's shoved aside by Jomo, who blasts through the group.
Out of the way. Lion killer's coming through.
Lion killers?
Just go with it, my brother. We are here. The lion killers are here, pretty babies.
The elephant girls laugh. Jomo wraps his trunk around Gugu's and drags him ahead into the swarm of elephant girls. Jomo and Gugu are being fawned over by the girls, as Jomo recalls, in exaggerated fashion, the incident of how Gugu received his war wounds. The elephant girls are dancing around their elephant festival dance in giant circular motions. Jomo and Gugu watch on. Jomo points out the girls he finds beautiful, but Gugu's interest is waning. He's looking for someone else. Later, Jomo is surrounded by a new batch of elephant girls, while Gugu just lingers in the background.
So then, out of nowhere, boom! He springs out of the lion's den. Now this lion is big. Big! He was the king of all lions. He was the kind of lion that makes other lions scream out, "Lion!"
What happened?
Well, he springs out of the tall grass and knocks Gugu out of the way like it was nothing. And I say, "Hey, try picking on someone your own size."
You actually said that to a lion?
Right to his face. And he stands there, staring at me like he wants a piece of this.
Jomo does a quick sequence of awkward, uncoordinated motions that pass for the Dambe martial art.
He didn't want any of this, Dombe Master.
Dambe Master?
Yeah, Dombe Master.
So what did you do?
What do you think? A little of this, a little of that. He tried to take a swing and I did this.
Gugu stands and slinks away. Jomo takes notice and goes after him.
Where are you going?
I'll be right back, pretty babies.
Jomo catches up to Gugu.
Gugu, what are you doing? There's a party full of girls hanging on every word, and you walk away?
You lied to me, Jomo.
Lied? What?
You said Jabiji would be here.
Wait, no. I never said that. Wait, did I?
Yes.
No, I never said that. I said that I would tell her my story if she was here.
You never said Eve. And it's not your story, it's my story.
I don't remember you, Dombe, punching a Lion King.
Funny, I don't remember you doing it either. You know why? Because it never happened.
Yeah, huh?
Nuh-uh.
Yeah, huh?
Nah.
Gugu?
Jomo and Gugu turn to see Jabiji. They're both floored by how beautiful she is. Jabiji!
So, you're a lion killer?
Gugu smiles, embarrassed. Jomo's head quickly leans in.
Word travels fast, huh? Told you it would work. They love it.
Gugu pushes Jomo off again.
I've been looking for you.
Have you? Jabiji nods. Why?
Well, I don't want to say it here.
Then where? Jabiji glances out to the tall grass near the lion's den, concerned at Gugu's stare.
You're not afraid, are you?
No, it's just...
Big brave lion killer like yourself? They won't want to mess with you again.
Yeah, about that. Jabiji moves forward.
You don't want to go with me?
I do.
Then come on.
Jabiji smiles and moves out into the dark. Gugu thinks for a moment and follows. Jabiji and Gugu move closer and closer to the mouth of the lion's den. The drums from the dance are a distant sound in the empty dark. The bonfires are only a flicker of light in the blackness. Gugu grows more nervous with every step.
Gugu?
Yeah? She stops momentarily, eyeing him flirtatiously.
Come on, lion killer.
She smiles and Gugu smiles back. Gugu rushes to catch up. I have to be honest, Jabiji.
About what?
The whole lion killer thing.
Yeah?
Gugu looks deep into her beautiful eyes. Their eyes are locked on each other.
What about the whole lion killer thing?
Huh?
You said you wanted to tell me something about the whole lion killer thing.
Oh, yeah. Jabiji strokes Gugu's forehead with her trunk. She gently dabs at his wound from earlier.
Is that how you got that?
Gugu nods.
You are so brave.
I am? Jabiji nods.
And I find that so...
Gugu lowers his eyes.
What's wrong?
Gugu steps away.
Gugu?
Jabiji moves closer to him. Jabiji, do you only find me, a potential mate because of the lion killer thing?
Why would you say that, Gugu?
Just seems like you really like Jomo's story.
Did it not happen the way Jomo said?
Gugu lowers his eyes again. He shakes his head.
Then I'm out of here.
Jabiji pretends to leave, but turns back to Gugu with a laugh. You're not leaving?
No, why would I, Gugu? I met you and I've liked you long before Jomo's lame story. And besides, lions eat calves like us, so no one scares them away. No one.
Jabiji's trunk nudges Gugu's face back towards hers.
I like you because you are brave. Not lion killer brave, but speak to a girl brave. And that takes just as much guts.
Yeah?
Yeah.
As Jabiji moves in for a kiss, a rustling in the tall grass. Both turn, startled. What was that? Jabiji shrugs. Something large watches them from behind the veil of darkness. Then tall blades of grass, its heavy, deep breaths reverberate like thunder. Gugu and Jabiji back slowly away.
You scared?
Gugu nods his head, but Jabiji is unaware. She turns back to look as he suddenly starts shaking his head no. Jabiji smiles.
My very own lion killer.
You see anything?
I think I see a...
Something large knocks Jabiji to the ground hard. She bounces off the solid ground and rolls into the grassy field behind Gugu. Jabiji! Gugu turns his stare back to the huge beast that knocked her to the ground. It's Odiambo, the lion from earlier in the day. He is massive, wild, and cloaked in darkness. Only his eyes are visible from the unbridled darkness. Each step he takes thunders around Gugu. Odiambo stalks him. Gugu trembles before him. So you are Gugu. Odiambo's chuckle is loud and menacing. The now famous lion killer. Odiambo moves in on Gugu slowly, growing larger and filling the frame with each step. Do you know who I am? Gugu shakes his head hard. His knees buckle, weakening. I am Odiambo, the lion you supposedly killed. Gugu slumps to the ground, completely weak in Odiambo's venomous glare. That lie has spread like wildfire through my kingdom and has caused me tremendous grief. I'm sorry. Not yet, you're not, but you will be, because I'm going to eat your little girlfriend there, and your clumsy friend Jomo, and your mother and your father, all while you watch. Odiambo releases a vicious snarl and lunges at Gugu as a net drops him and he slams to the ground. Jabiji crawls to a stand and screams back for Gugu.
Gugu, run, poachers!
What? A net lands on Gugu. Poachers race from the tall grass more stealthily than Odiombo had. They surround Odiombo as he snarls and bites through the net, but it's futile. They drag him into the cover of darkness. Gugu fights as hard as he can, but he too finds it impossible to free himself.
Gugu!
Run, Jabiji! A net lands on Jabiji. Somehow she's able to free herself and makes a mad dash for the dance. Jabiji gallops into the heart of the dance and knocks the elephant girls aside.
Poachers!
A hysteria breaks out. Elephants trumpet loudly in fear. The trumpets echo through the endless sky. Zarifa instinctively looks to Argyay, a sinking in her stomach.
My baby!
You don't know that.
I do!
Zarifa tears from the rest area towards the trumpets. Argyay follows suit, joining the scores of other male elephants that charge ahead. The number of poachers is as concealed in the darkness as their escape methods, but there are enough to drag Gugu into the dark. Gugu struggles mightily, writhing and wrestling inside the net. A sliver of moonlight reveals a squat, portly, toothless Chiombo. His out-of-shape wheezing leaves him easy to find in the quiet dark. Gugu fixes eyes on him. Mother! Father! A heavy thunder as the grown elephants storm the dance. Jomo races over Argyay and Zarifa.
It's Gugu. They have him.
No, not my son!
Where? Jabiji points her trunk towards the lion's den, without hesitation. Charge! As the poachers scramble for their vehicles, one of the jeeps is hit hard and flung through the air. An ear-screeching trumpet and a heavy thunder. The poachers find themselves scrambling for their lives. Just the lion and the elephant. Drop everything else. Chiombo injects Gugu with a syringe, and Gugu goes limp. Chiombo and a couple of other poachers toss Gugu in the back of the jeep and slam the gate shut. An approaching rumble causes Chiombo to slowly look back. Argyay barrels towards Chiombo's jeep with a reckless abandon. Gugu! Father! Oh God. Chiombo races up to the driver's side and leaps in. He fires up the engine and smashes the gas pedal on the floor. The jeep screams through the tall blades of grass and darkness. Argyay's determined run bashes another jeep and sends it tumbling into the darkness. But every stride and every step is just one step too short, one stride too small as the jeep gets further and further away, the lights but faint dots in oblivion. Argyay comes to a halt along with the other male elephants. Gugu's screams fade along with the taillights. Gugu's gone. All of the male elephants come to a sorrowful stop. Jabiji finds herself the only one still pursuing the jeep. She turns back to everyone. Dejected eyes fill the heavy air.
Why are we stopping?
They hang their heads and turn back.
They can't go far. We can still catch them.
She stares strongly into Argyay's eyes. He turns away, slumping into the oblivion. Jabiji's eyes move to Zarifa, and she too slumps away. The elder elephants gather their young and move back towards Harambe. Jabiji is alone. Her eye drifts to the endless night where the jeeps finally disappear into the dark. But she does not lower her eyes. She does not turn back. Jabiji is undeterred. Jomo rests just behind her, his eyes well with tears. Gugu rocks back and forth in the rear of the shaky jeep as it barrels down. Full moon looms overhead, giving off just enough light to reveal this run-down, dilapidated animal detention center. It is hidden beneath the growth of the jungle. The jeep's lights appear in the dark horizon. They quickly approach. The jeeps come to screeching halts, kicking dirt and rocks into the oblivion. The doors open, and Chiombo is the first out of the vehicle, adjusting his belt beneath his overlapping stomach. The oily, unkempt sheen of his skin glimmers in the pale moonlight. I'll load the trucks, get them inside.
Why us? Why can't you help, Chiombo?
Because I told you to, now get them out of the jeeps and inside.
I bet if I tell Hafiz, he'll make you come help.
Do you like your job, Combo?
Yes,
Why?
because it provides money for my family.
What if I tell Hafiz that you are directly disobeying my orders, that you refuse to place the animals in their cages, and that you are the reason we lost half our shipment back there? What do you think will happen? I tell you what will happen. You'll fire your sorry butt and you'll be out in the field eating roots and grass like that elephant in the back of my jeep.
You're an elephant.
Who said that? Chiombo charges to the group of poachers. They're all silent, yet fighting to hold back laughter. Who said it? No one speaks up. Chimbo's angry, sloppy stumble through the group inspires laughter. They're fighting hard to hold it back. What? No one? No one man enough to say it to my face? Chimbo stumbles back to Combo and glares at him. Now get the animals out of the jeeps and put them inside. Chimbo steps away from the group and up the steps of the detention center. He pauses for a moment, looking out over the poachers who stand silent. He eyes them. He continues inside the building, and the poachers erupt in laughter. The door opens comically, and Chimbo pokes his head out. The group stops immediately. Not even a peep. The door slowly closes. The second it closes shut, the laughter starts again.
What a fat fool!
In the back of the jeep, Gugu is unconscious. Hands reach in and drag him from the jeep. Raucous laughter and clamoring throughout the dark, dank detention center. Gugu's eyes slowly open to the madness. The poachers rifling through food and drinks laugh loudly. The madness is almost deafening as more poachers have arrived. Gugu whimpers and trembles inside his cage. This is not his home. He does not know these animals. Everything is completely foreign to him. Gugu glances across the room, past the loquacious poachers, and spots Odiambo. Odiambo spots him too. Their eyes are locked on each other, however, with different intents. Gugu is terrified. Odiambo is hungry. Odiambo licks his lips. Mother,